Yes, ma'am.
Dr. Sebi, is fasting a part of the cleansing system?
Fasting is something that you would do gradually over a period of time. You would learn to fast. You would adjust yourself to fast. I'm doing it now. I have used all kinds of methods. One, I remember the first time I fasted, I went on it for 94 days, non-stop. Didn't eat anything. You know, it was 20 years later that I did that. I didn't even do that. 20 years later, I fasted for 28 days only. So I learned that in fasting, you have to learn to fast because the stomach has to readjust. If you fast suddenly and your stomach shrinks, the conditioning of your head will say, I gotta fill this thing back up because it's still empty. But if you fast one day and eat another, fast one day and eat another, take that for about 7 days, and then next month, let's see what I'm gonna fast for 2 days, I need 2 days. And then you go gradually, and then your stomach have a chance to be shrinking on you slowly. And once it's shrunk, then the desire for food becomes minimal. I just talked to Mr. Lee. I was in trouble in Detroit this trip because month before last I was in Detroit where Martha Jean the Queen, how many of you know of that woman? Martha Jean the Queen, you know of her. She's a woman that is in Detroit that takes me there every month to see hundreds of people. And this one man impressed me very much, Mr. Lee. Oh, Mr. Lee is 80-something. Mr. Lee is about 6 feet tall and he's slim. And he dresses, he's sharp and he's clean. And this man, oh God, this man just impressed me. I look at this man when he comes to see me. He said, good evening, young man. You Dr. Sebi? I said, yes, sir. Well, I'm Mr. Lee. But Mr. Lee is a tough man. So Mr. Lee is 87. And he doesn't wear glasses, and he can read and write very nice. Mr. Lee said to me, well, young man, you know, I have a woman, but I want another one. So I want you to help me with these compounds of youth because I want another woman. You see, this other woman is very nice, and I don't want to deprive her. She's very nice, and I want to, you know, be with her, but I have this one here that I love very much, but are you going to help me or not? I said, I'll help you. So when I went back to see this time, I went back to Detroit. There was Mr. Lee. But I couldn't help it. Mr. Lee was in a group of people. I said, Mr. Lee! He said, you remember me, right? I said, Mr. Lee's sister was angry with me because I gave him all of my attention and didn't give her any. But Mr. Lee is a very impressionable man. He's very strong. Our sister came and said to Mr. Lee, are you married? Mr. Lee said, yes, I'm married. Not very much so. This man is, you know, so that was the trouble. God, he just sit to jump all over me and crazy. Yes, sir.
Yeah, what I'm going to say is based on some observation I have recently, just like the European had their several them meeting the richest nation, and not one Africa is included in that.
I noticed it.
Yeah, so what I want you to do is address the answer to some of us who might don't understand what's going on, because like here we try to get together and then some of us bringing somebody else who don't put my trust to get it, but this is what we are seeing.
Well, there is no reason why a Japanese or a white man shouldn't be here. There should be reason, but in us constructing, no, we can't construct with their philosophy or their presence, no. Because we have to separate ourselves. Everything was made separate. Everything is different, you know. You see, they tell us that we're one, right? But is that true? No. You see? I mean, damn, if you put me next to a Norwegian, man, you know there's this thing different. Man, what was this? That we are one. We're just different. Not that the Norwegian is less than me. Because I've been to Norway many, many times, and I have been to Russia. I've been all over Europe. But I never find it necessary to relinquish or to compromise my blackness, but I never found it necessary to offend them either. Because I don't want to be offended. So, as it been us to come together, you know, we've been doing that for 35 years since I've been here coming together. Coming together around what? There have been no coming together in America in 35 years around an entity that's going to protect us, that's going to feed us and compliment us. He was always around philosophy. But I don't get around that. That's why I don't have friends that entertain that junk. Next question. Right here. Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am.
I would like to know how long the cleaning process takes. I have asthma.
When I was an asthmatic for 28, 29 years, Miss Mildred Jones that just spoke about, Miss Mildred Jones, she had a machine. She was worse than you. And in a half an hour or 50 minutes, she took the machine out her nose. But I want to say this. This has to be very, very carefully understood. I had two people that died after they came to see me at the Usha family last year, or this year. A young woman too with asthma. She came and she took the compound and she was feeling very good, but she didn't come back because asthmatic people does that. I did it too. Once that wheezing stops and that breathing becomes good, we don't want to take the substance anymore. No. The mucus is in the head. Like I said, every one of us have a tumor and it breaks down and you find that you're swallowing. Many of you felt that you're swallowing mucus sometimes draining down your ear, you know? It's coming down from this big head. You know, that cheese and a cow. This lady, this young sister, told me that she was only eating the food that I recommended. And in the selection of these foods, broccoli was one. As a steam engineer, I learned to understand chemicals. I'm a steam engineer. I learned that not by going to school for it, because you heard me say I didn't go to school. I learned it on the ship. I was a wiper, which is a janitor. I wiped myself to a fireman and water tender, to a junior engineer, to an engineer, on-the-job training. So while on the ship, it was my duty, at one point in my journey as an engineer, to scavenge the oxygen out of the boilers. That's the first thing a steam engineer has to learn to do. To put sulfite in the feed water, that it would go in the tubes of the boiler and scavenge out all the oxygen. If there's any degree of oxygen over and above, just, I would say, oxygen in contents would be like only 1/10 of 1% of the water, because oxygen would cause pitting in the tubes, erosion. So you put sulfite in the water, and it removes oxygen from that water. I know you would never have to suffer pitting in the tubes. But when I would open that barrel, I had to open the barrel and stand away. If I stand over the barrel when I open it, that's how fast it would react. So what are they spraying the vegetables with now to make it look young? I mean fresh? And this lady has asthma, and she comes to me. She begins to feel good. But I recommend that she eat only green things, and she chooses the broccoli. And when she eats the broccoli, now she called me about 1 hour before that. This happened to me. It's dangerous out there. It's very dangerous. You see, with that $1, we could go back to North Carolina and tell the brothers to have all this land that isn't growing anything, no fellas. We want you to grow organically grown food for us. Without the sulfite and insecticide and the pesticide, because she's in trouble. This is in trouble. We're not taking care of business. We've been talking. We've been talking. Because those who came to us was talking about Egypt, talking about what took place in Songhay. What the hell are you going to do with that now? Okay, you think you're bad? Do something with that. No. You walk out ahead and go do something what the Egyptians were doing back 5,000, 6,000 years ago. Go do that. I want to see how good it's going to be. But if we do what we just recommended, each of us give $1, and we start go back in the soil and grow in the food for these children, because they're us. And our health is being compromised now worse for them. Whereas Brother Sonny Carson is seeking right now to change the food in the schools. Now, doesn't that sound good? Isn't that a worthy cause? Instead of marching in the streets about what? Yes, sir.
Just people coming to you who have identified illnesses like asthma or AIDS or whatever, what can we do here? Say, I don't know what I may have yet, all right? But what can we do here today to start the process?
Well, when this man, Martin, came to see me, Martin didn't have no disease. Martin is right there. This big head man in front of you, the man is raising his hand. Martin didn't have any disease, but Martin wanted to feel good. Want to feel, energy back. Well, all you have to do is come and we send you the packages and you would revitalize again, be revitalized again. Yes, sir.
I don't ask you about the cow. You said that's a hybrid animal?
The cow is a hybrid animal, true hybridization.
Between one and one.
A cross between a yak and a buffalo. It's not natural. So I don't know when the Bible talks about Abraham that was killing and dressed the calf. I don't know what they were talking about because this cow is new. You see, how do you know what is natural? I'm going to show you guys a very beautiful scale. I wish I had a blackboard that this thing could go out into something very nice. But we're going to use this line. This line here. This line at the center. This line at the center would be number 7 for neutral in pH. Anybody know pH is? The pH of 7 is what? Neutral. The 0. Anything to our right, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14 is alkaline. Anything to our left from 7 to 1 is acid. 7 is neutral. Where's the line? Right here. Okay, now we're going to use that. Because we're wise. We don't need no blackboard. Our brain could penetrate, right? Okay, we remember that 7 to our right to 14 is alkaline. 7 down to 1 is acid. If a substance is acid, it's always below 7. Below 7. As a steam engineer, I knew that. 6.9 is always acid. But it's only 1 point acid, right? And as it goes to 1, it becomes more acid and more acid and more acid. And depending on the degree of acidity will determine what scale will be on, right? So we find that cyanide and arsenides, they are like 2. 1.5 grain of arsenide would kill you right now, isn't it? But if the substance is on above 7, is it good for you? Yes. Now, when you milk a cow, this is a hydrogen ion concentration test, they call it. Hydrogen ion. To break it down, pH, depending on its structure, is acid state. If the substance is alkaline, if you milk a cow, the cow is 5.2 on the hydrogen scale, which means it would erode your cells, and that milk you're giving your baby, that bottle, is killing your baby with fever and nose running. But if you milk a goat, the milk is 9.8, which is what? Alkaline, which means that God made it. God doesn't make anything that hurts you, right? I mean, if he made something to hurt you, he wouldn't be God. If you make a tiger, the milk is alkaline. Over here. If you make a lion, the milk is alkaline. If you make a woman, it's alkaline. But if you make a cow, that's how you know. You could take a carrot and juice it and give it the litmus test. It's way over here on the acid side. But the health people claim it is. Well, a man is in the door right now named Lorenzo Pace. Lorenzo Pace came to see me when I was at Monroe Street. And he said, hey, look, man, I want to drink juice. And I got all these milkers. I'm a vegetarian. What's going on there, Sebi? I said, Lorenzo, what kind of juice you drinking? He said, carrots, baby, carrots. Because old man was told by these nutritionists in Harlem that he should drink carrot juice. Mucus was coming out of the razor like he never said. I said, stop it. There he stopped. Without the mucus. Then go back and drink carrot juice. Yes, sir.
What's the pH of blood?
The pH of blood depends on the state of your body. But the pH of blood should always be no less than 10. That's right. Because the cells can't do nothing with something acid. Just by the word acid. Acid means what? To eat away on you. What you want that for? Yes, ma'am. Yes, your sister.
I'm doing camonite and sound. Is that good? Bad?
Psyllium husk. And what else you said? That's coming out of volcano. They both are very harmful. Don't even deal that. Remember, to heal the body, maybe this is where I should, this lecture just begin to get good, right? To heal the body, we want to give it things that it is already composed of. And the body definitely is an alkaline state. The body itself is alkaline. And it is composed of what? Carbon base. Psyllium seed. Psyllium seed is acid, isn't it? It was made. You see? Anything that was made in a laboratory must necessarily be acid. Because men cannot titrate. Titration, that's the word. He cannot, in other words, may I have that umbrella? Nature, since creation, made things the way they should be. Men come and found them that way. We found them already made for us to indulge in, right? But what man does, you say, well, I can see if I take a soursop and a coconut and put them together, I'm going to get cool sop. Right? But to bring these two things together that was not originally put together by nature, you have to use a binder. That's the trick. For them to come together and unite, because they were not supposed to unite. But man takes and uses a binder, which is a chemical, and put them together. That's a violation. The other is that it is half coconut and half soursop. Is there anything in nature that's half anything?
No.
Thank you. I think that's a beautiful description, isn't it?
Yes.
Shall we use that one? You are a scientist. Yes, sir. Thank you, ma'am.
Dr. Sebi,
Yes, sir.
detoxify, fine, cleanse it. 1 day, 1 year, 2 years.
Well, this lady, I did not complete answering her question. I'm glad that you asked the question. It depends. It depends on the state of toxicity. It depends how much weight. It depends how much fluid. It depends on the state of your body. You come back and tell me, when you begin to take this stuff, you come back and say, hey, man, I'll be good. I'll be very good. Or you may come back and say, I feel okay, but then I know I have some work to do. It's simple. It's very easy. You know more than me. So you know.
Yes. I have abnormal tissue in the jawbone. And what it's doing is, it's affecting the nerves, the blood vessels.
Abnormal tissue in the jawbone she has. What caused that? Abnormal tissue. What causes anything to become abnormal in the body?
Acid.
Acid. You know it.
That is also bothering you too.
No, that was not also bothering you. That was what it was all the time.
Okay, all right. That's the point. Okay.
So we deactify your body, right? Let me see, Washington, D.C. What is his name? Little short man. Forgot his name. When he opened his jaw, he had to put it back in. Why? Because there was erosion in the calcium cells. So what do? What's causing the erosion? The only thing that eats your body up is what? So what is disease? Yes, brother. Who was it? Who's next? Well, look at Saya. Saya's in town. Hi, Saya. Saya's a beautiful little girl. You always know about Saya. Yes, sir.
Please tell us, Dr. what the problem or the benefit of soybeans, tofu, soy milk, TBT.
You know, there's a young man that I don't see here today. His name is Jay. I didn't do his research. Jay did. Jay is a member of Pusha. Jay put things in a way that I hope that you would get this paper that he wrote on tofu. Tofu, he said, the food of what, he said? No, the food of who? What did Jay said? The food of champions. He said, early in the 19th century, George Washington Carver found that soybean had a very good milk, consistent to make plastics. It was George Washington Carver that invented plastics. He made it from what? The milk of the soybean. Where you mean to tell me, and Jay said in the paper, you ought to read this paper. We will make this paper available to you next time we come together, because we will come together again, because there's so much to talk about. He said, if early in the 19th century, George Washington Carver used soybeans to make plastics, why is it that automatically in the 19th century, it has become our food?